physics is going to have to be the quote-unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely.
Yeah. Yep, we're here. The Cult of Dangerous Gentlemen, the greatest think tank ever assembled, is back. And we got a very special episode this week. Very special episode. And I say special because this thing has been kind of setting the internet on fire this week. Yes, we're back to current events, but there's a reason. Stay tuned. Don't send out any fuck-laden emails just yet. I promise this is going to make sense. So, here in the wonderful world of Babylonian technology, they have decided to allow lab-grown meat for sale in the U.S. So before, I'm gonna let this guy, I don't know what this guy's name is, but I like him, so I'm gonna let him talk about it for a quick second.
With the US now the second country to approve the sale of what's called cultivated meat. That's meat grown from live animal cells and cultivated with nutrients and amino acids in a giant vat, kind of like you'd find at a brewery. Supporters say it will help fight climate change by reducing the need for traditional animal agriculture, like cows, which emit greenhouse gases which warm the planet. But hey, how does it taste?
Who cares? First of all, okay, so I like what they did.
It's not the cars doing it.
I like what they did. First, he said it's cultivated meat, which gives you the idea that it's supernatural and regular. It's being used from live animal cells, right? So it's not just some scientist in a lab throwing a bunch of shit into a vat. No, it comes from live animal cells. That's what you like to eat, right? And they said to replace cows who emit greenhouse gases. So, first and foremost, cows, yeah, they definitely do emit greenhouse gases. And what they mean by that is cows fart. That's literally what they're saying is destroying the planet and causing climate change, is cow farts. And I would think, I'm not sure, I'm not a scientist, but I think that, I'm not a wizard, not exactly, but cow farts, I feel like have always been a part of the system that's going on here, the way things roll. Is the planet not prepared to handle cow farts? Is that really what's driving everything down the drain? Because it's definitely
cows are a new animal, though, right? We haven't had cows until like probably the last 100 or so years, right?
Well, there's always been. Well, before that there were some other big bovine creatures, and I'm sure they farted too. They killed a bunch of them when they came here. Native cows been around for a while. But why is it that all of a sudden the farts from the cow are so dangerous to the ecosystem? Because are the cows doing anything differently now than they used to do? Yeah, let me just, we're not going to play no Jeopardy music or nothing like that here. We'll just get right to it. So they don't let cows eat their natural diet. Right. Matter of fact, if you want beef from a cow that was raised on his natural diet, that costs extra. And that used to just be a given. Right. It's grass-fed beef. What else does beef eat, bro? It eats grass, right? Yeah. So what's the problem? Well, we started feeding it corn. Well, can they digest corn? Not completely. It puts a lot of pounds on them really fast, and it makes it so that we can harvest them a lot quicker, a lot more meat per cow. But it does make them have toxic shit and rancid farts because they're not supposed to be eating corn. Cows wouldn't really be eating corn at that level by themselves if it wasn't for human intervention. So could we just stop feeding the cows corn? No, we can't do that. Why can't we do that? Well, because the farmers have already gotten so used to growing their cows in a record time and fattening them up like no other. No, why would we go backwards? Well, what about the toxic shit that the cows are dropping that's destroying the farmland, along with the bad agricultural practices and all the fertilizer, and we got to spray so much fertilizer. Yeah, nothing's growing because of bad fertilizer and toxic cow shit. But cow shit is supposed to grow stuff, right? Like, yeah, if they're eating grass, cow shit grows stuff, but these cows aren't eating grass. So it seems like feeding the cows the grass would solve multiple problems. It would get away. Just let them eat the grass, and that solves cascading issues down the line. Nope, can't do it. Because why not? Because we grow so much corn. What are we going to do with all the corn? Well, people can eat corn too. Like, no, it's not the right. It's too much. We're just going to keep feeding the cows corn. We're going to keep letting them have toxic farts and toxic shit. And then we'll come up with we'll start making lab-grown meat. That way, you'll be completely trusted. You can completely trust it. I'm sure it's super tasty. And there won't be any backlash. Nothing wrong with it. I'm sure nobody will be hurt by it or nobody's going to croak. It's not going to make humans evolve into bovine humanoids or nothing like that. That's just crazy. That's science fiction talk. That probably won't happen, right? I'm sure it won't.
No mad cow disease out here.
No, I mean there was, but that who knows? That's not our fault. We can't.
That's hogwash. Mumbo jumbo.
It'll taste exactly as you would expect a chicken to taste. So, the part that's remarkable about it is we didn't have to raise and slaughter a chicken to get real chicken meat.
Shout out to the Indian guy making fake meat.
And the part that's unremarkable is that it tastes like chicken. It's what we've been used to eating for thousands of years.
Tastes like chicken because it comes from a chicken. Apparently, cows.
It comes from a chicken, yeah, lab-grown cells. So, what do you think about? I mean, since our resident Yakubian here, you know all about the science, you know about the genetics. What do you think about this?
It's disgusting. I'm disgusted by this whole Babylonian Nosferatu trickery.
I'd rather go hunting mammoths.
This is, and I think, I mean, wasn't that why? I mean, I think it's in the Bible that cows never used to fart. It's just brand new. Or maybe that's why to the Egyptians that shepherds were an abomination. But I'm pretty sure we got a good 6,000 years on the record. And I'm sure it was before that, but maybe people just weren't writing shit down then. But I'm absolutely certain the planet is of such a paradigm that it's worked in cow farts. It's figured out how to continue to exist while having cows on the face of the earth farting. This is so stupid. And like you said, we could just solve the problem like just have them eat grass. Just have them eat grass because that's the way it's always been done.
That
right?
takes
So
too
we're
long.
not even we created a problem.
Right.
We created the problem with the toxic shit because we don't want to pay the real cost for anything. And we don't want to have any kind of reasonable, equitable balance with nature. So we're just like, fuck it. We'll just go ahead and we're not getting rid of private planes because private planes are damaging or putting out CO2 or whatever way more than cow farts. But we're not getting rid of private planes, but we're getting rid of actual cows, and we're just gonna have lab meat. No, I don't trust it. I guess I got to start working in animal husbandry into this garden paradigm.
Right.
I'm not doing it. I won't eat their lab meat. No way.
Well, I mean, honestly, with everything, and I don't blame you. I'm not saying you should eat it, but with everything that's in processed food right now, I mean, what else do we need? It's already knocking people off of here pretty consistently.
It's fair to say America is already doesn't care about how it feeds its people compared to the rest of the world.
Well, no, but it's not that America doesn't care. The population is fine with it.
Yeah.
Like, I forget what I saw it, but somebody pointed out, it's like, here's a Yoplait yogurt from France. Look, it comes in a glass jar, so you're not getting the toxins from the plastic. It's made with cream, milk, strawberries, and sugar. Like, that's the ingredients. And then you go to America. It's in a plastic cup. Bisoflamigate, blah, blah, blah. Like, all these fucking chemical-laden shit in yogurt. But other countries, like in Europe, and that's why I think there's got to be some grand demonic European white supremacy conspiracy. Because they're still eating real food. They're not doing GMOs over there. They're not eating all these chemicals that Americans are. Matter of fact, if you take Americans' chemical-laden food away from them, this shit'll be France.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers will go out into the streets and riot if they can't get poisonous food. Take away Big Macs.
Oh, please.
Take away Pink.
You could keep the Big Mac, just take away all the poisonous.
No. Right.
That's taking away the Big Mac. I mean, it's the same thing.
But I think that just what people are willing to ingest is food. Like clearly, there's no concern. So right. I don't, people who are aware, I think they'll be looking for butchers. They'll be looking for locally sourced stuff. But people who are already buying like the Tyson chicken nuggets, the 500 nugget bag at Walmart, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're fine.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you were to force
can't even
Americans,
watch my kids if you have 100-pack chicken nuggets from Walmart.
If you went on the news tomorrow and said the president has just passed a law that makes it legal for every state to mulch and compost all their homeless people, you would get less of a backlash than if you heard the president just told McDonald's that they have to close unless they sell healthier food.
No, just use real food. If you were like, look, you can have the Thousand Island dressing, you can have hamburgers, but they have to be. You can't use any of that soy filler. You can do chicken nuggets, but it's got to be real chickens.
No,
everything's got to be actual food. First of all, you're looking at $30. You're gonna buy a $30 value meal if you actually got food that's.
Yeah,
the food that's not poison.
Dollar meal's gone.
Yeah, the dollar menu is evaporated. It's done.
It was a 90s thing. It was cute. It was fun.
Oh,
saved
see?
a lot of people.
Okay, so if you force McDonald's to sell real food, that's an attack on poor people. And by poor people, I mean black people. So that's racist.
It is racist,
if you
for
get
sure.
rid of the dollar menu, it's racist. Gotta be. That's not even that many steps. That's like 2 steps. No more dollar menu. Poor people can't eat. You hate blacks. Super simple math on that one. So that's probably the main reason McDonald's can't do it. They want to, but their hands are tied. They don't want to be seen as racist.
That's true. That's true. And we want to be not racist so bad that we're just going to go ahead and defy nature and make our own animals.
Yes.
We're just going to make them in a lab.
Well, we're going to make our own gelatinous cubes that they're not alive, they're not sentient, so you can't really call them animals. They don't even have any bones. They don't need to eat or sleep or nothing like that. It's just we have vats of just quivering pink mass.
Oh my god!
And
meat skin. It's a meat skin.
It does quiver though because it needs
meat
nerves.
Skin.
It needs nerves to quiver.
It's a blob of meat.
Because the meat will get all mushy if it doesn't move. So it does have a little bit of movement.
They put it in a mold. If you want steak, you get the steak mold. You know what I'm saying? You want your T-bone, you get your T-bone.
Oh my God. Larry Mandel, find your future self and eat your asshole and save us from this aspect future.
Yeah, it's coming.
This is dystopian.
It's coming.
I can't even believe where. But the thing is there's no need for this. We could just change the way that we live.
That's America's
slowly.
Like simple as like America has like you could easily solve
it's Pandora's box. No. We're not gonna solve this with nature. We're gonna solve this with ingenuity. We're gonna solve this with innovation, with science.
And it's not even forward thinking, let's solve the problem science. It's let's ignore the problems that we've already created and possibly create new problems, but it'll look like a solve on the top layer.
Cancer.
Oh my gosh, people are just going to become tumors. It's just going to basically become acceptable that everybody's going to, like, that'll be the new look. We'll just incorporate tumors into the new paradigm. So, all right, so we made fake meat, and we all have giant tumors throughout our bodies. So this is what we're going to do. We've invented another drug. Hear me out. And so the drug is going to make it so that cancer won't kill you. So as soon as the mass starts to generate, you just take this pill, and then it'll go ahead and, and we can't do much yet. We're working on that. But we'll basically all just look like fucking ears of corn on the cob or some shit. And we're just going to be lumpy, unhealthy fucks that can't move around. But we'll have as much chicken nuggets as we want.
That's acceptable. As long as everybody... Do we get a chicken nugget stipend? Are we going to get it just... Is it just going to get delivered?
Basically, just this is how Slurm is going to be made. This will be
and again, if everybody found out that was the way, no, it would change nothing. It's just... I love that episode because he sees this giant slug bitch shitting this shit into a bottle, and he just starts drinking it again. He's
Tastes
like,
good.
fuck it, it's delicious.
Yeah, it's
That's what
scary.
I'm saying. You could put any amount of filthy gelatinous slop in just the trough of the general public, and I hate to just shit on common people. You know, I root for humanity. I'm a fan of humanity, but fuck if they won't let you down. I don't know how it just wouldn't incense people to know that because it was already the clone meat. So I already started like sourcing local butchers and shit like that to get meat like years ago. Because once it was like, oh yeah, Winn-Dixie's is selling cloned meat, and they don't even have to tell you. Nope, done. Not buying meat from the store anymore. You know, but even when you go out and eat at a restaurant, like you probably eating it, and you know it is what it is. But I you know, it's one of those things too where it's like if you eat McDonald's once, it's not gonna kill you. You know, you'll get sick if you eat clean the rest of the time. Your body will like, what the fuck did you do to me? But it's not gonna kill you. So you know, once in a while you have some Babylonian delight eating fucking genetically engineered lab veal fetuses. All right, it won't kill you. You know, you went out to Applebee's, you ate fake fetus meat. But, you know, you shouldn't eat it all the time.
Applebee's menu, by the way.
It is. Try our new fetus meat. But I gotta think over time, because I'm pretty sure that's why Britain and I think the EU as a whole got rid of GMOs. Like they did studies. And look, and we figured out by all of our Yakubian pursuits, it's like, shit, whatever we do to mice, it's almost like we're made out of the same ingredients. We can figure out what'll happen to us. Oh, shit, all of these mice are getting giant tumors. They're all dropping dead. Maybe we should stop this. So they already made a decision to be like, well, we're not going to feed that to human beings. So I'm sure at some point they're gonna put this out, and like 30 years later, it'll just be like lead paint. Like, my bad. So when everybody's intestines turned into just some giant cancerous mound of concrete, we apologize. We didn't know. We thought everything would be fine. Sorry. Our bad. But this time, we got something new, and this is going to be great and not cause any problems. Just feed the fucking cows grass. No way. No way.
That's asking too much.
We got something else.
That's asking so much, bro.
That doesn't give us a chance.
It took us 100 years and 1 million deaths of tumors, but we got the new one.
Right, and now we've secured investment for a new venture. Because that's what it is. It's about raising capital to try something new. You can't raise a lot of capital going like, nah, we're just going to feed the cows grass, and we're going to eat regular meat, and we're just going to eat less of it, or human beings are going to have more of an active role in sourcing their own food. No. Because even like with this shit that they're doing with 15-minute cities, they plan on making these little isolated cities where you get everything that you need. You walk to work. Look, if we weren't ruled by, demonic, interdimensional, pedophile alien slugs, I'd be like, that's a great idea. I just don't trust you motherfuckers are going to do anything righteous with it. It's obviously nefarious. But, that's not a bad idea to have a community that's centered around being self-sufficient. I wouldn't mind a 15-minute city built in the right way. If you have your own land for the animals, for the agriculture, to self-sustain and to get the things that you would need, and if you incorporate in some commerce, electricity, and running water and all of that, great. I think you could build a community that could be successful in that context. That'd be great. But they're not going to do that, and so they're going to put you in a 15-minute city and say, no, don't grow anything. We're shipping in lab chunks. You're getting your chunks of lab meat. It's coming. Just chill. We're going to drop it via drone so you don't have to drive cars and be like cow farts and ruin the atmosphere. It's just all fucking dumb. Look, that's your future.
This is the future. It's coming. Aspic future, bro. And matter of fact, it's not even funny because it's already been here. It's already been here. This is not anything new. Aspic was a completely acceptable way for people to serve meals at one time. This was really happening. So you would come home, from a hard day's work, you know how that goes, and there wouldn't be any discernible animal on your plate. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm not making a judgment call here. I'm not saying that you should be able to look at your plate and be like, okay, that's chicken, that's beef. I don't know if that's the best way that humans should be focusing on making their food. I don't know if that's the best way. All I know is that there was a time where you would come home and you couldn't tell what was on your plate. And your wife would just smile at you and be like, yeah, this is what's going down, buddy. This is what you're eating. There's something in there. There's definitely some meatish something. It's in there. There's vegetables in there. There's meat in there. It's all there. What are you mad about? It's a fully balanced meal. It's a fully balanced meal. This was like the 60s, I think it was, and people were selling all the Jell-O molds to the stay-at-home moms. It was like, oh, this will make...
the epitome of white people cuisine right there.
Allegedly.
You got it.
I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think black... Well, then again, black folks eat scrapple and hog-head cheese. So what's the difference? Really? Like, what's the difference between... flavor. You know, that's called salt. That's just salt, brother. That ain't flavor. It's just salt.
The gateway to high blood pressure.
It's everything they scraped up off the butcher's floor, and they gave it to the Negro, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna let my wife. We're gonna put some grits with this. Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. We're gonna love it. But this, you know, aspic future. What else do you
Jell-O
want?
is any grown adult who eats Jell-O. I don't trust you.
I ain't mad at Jell-O. You know why?
I haven't eaten Jell-O since I was a child, and then I found out they put like what is it, seashells or something in there, or pig bones or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of pig bones.
Yeah.
But God put gelatin in pig's bones. Whose fault is that? If God didn't want us,
I just gotta know what I'm eating.
Well, no, hold on.
If God didn't want us to have jiggly flavored food, why would He put it in the pig's bones?
We're not putting this on God. Listen, I don't think He put gelatin in the bones. I think we figured out that when we grind up the bones, I think any bone, we could use human bones. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
you grind up bones, and that's the basis for making that gelatinous shit. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know. We just fuck with shit. We fuck with shit,
and we eat it.
Just take it for what it is. We won't just interact with the planet around us on the terms available. We just can't help ourselves. We got to figure out the relationship of every atom and every chemical, and we got to figure out and reverse engineer it and fuck with it until we can just do all of this unnatural shit. Like, that's our MO. We just want to do unnatural shit. That's all it is. Like, hey, nature has a solution for that. Fuck that. No way.
You know what?
We're gonna do it another way. And Jell-O is the official dessert of sexual assault. Nobody should eat Jell-O. If you eat Jell-O, you support sexual assault.
Well, I'm sure you have a map.
Well, it's chocolate pudding.
I'm sure you have a map of that. But yeah, that's chocolate pudding. It was made by a company called Jell-O, but it was the chocolate pudding pop that is the pathway to sexual assault. Just to be clear. It's not the Jell-O.
Nope, sexual assault adjacent.
Okay,
Jell-O,
okay. Right,
Jell-O is sexual assault adjacent.
Okay,
absolutely.
I can't debate that one. But you know what? I'm just realizing what I think might be happening here. What happens when a kid's been on punishment for too long? You don't let him go outside. You keep him in the house. Eventually, he starts tinkering with shit, right? He starts fucking with shit because he's bored, right? What happens to people who were doing nothing but standing on a corner drinking a 40 out of a paper bag and selling crack? You put them in jail where they can't go anywhere. They're locked in. What do? They come up with the most ingenious shit. It's like, yo, I made a record player out of a boot and a toothbrush. How the fuck did you do that? Because he's got nothing but time on his hands. This is like a prison planet for humans. We can't leave. Like, we can't go too far up. We can't go too far down. So let's just start tinkering with shit. Let's figure out what we can do. What if we cut this cow up and boil its bones? That
explains a lot. The earth as a prison explains a lot.
Yeah, this is prison culture. This is what we're seeing. What humans are doing to themselves right now. The treatment that they're giving each other. The fact that they can't leave anything alone. They're finding stupid ways to do dumb shit. Like, hey, these cows eat grass. And they poop and it grows more grass. And then they eat the grass. Shit. And then they put... It's crazy. It's a perfect system. Fuck that. Feed them corn. How do you come up with that? Prison.
Corn and Funyuns.
Yeah.
And prison. yeah, it's definitely people. Humanity is getting more and more. It's just manifesting its prison nature.
Yeah.
People will fuck you up for no reason. They'll fuck you in really uncomfortable ways. They'll eat shit that wasn't meant for human consumption, They'll find a way. It's the ingenuity that's inspired by prison culture. That explains everything.
Yeah. It really makes too much sense. I'm just sitting here like, the more you think about it.
Let it soak in.
Yeah, the more you think about it, the more true it feels, because humans are doing a bunch of goofy shit. And I think the same thing. When you ever watch those documentaries about prison where they show you like all the weapons they've confiscated and all the ways people figure out to hide shit and like all the stuff, it's just they're so sequestered from anything like truly productive. They just come up with ways to do the wildest shit. They're giving each other tattoos in there. They get an ink pen and they open up a walkie-talkie and they steal a little piece of this from the mess hall. Next thing you know, they're giving each other tattoos with a fully functional tattoo gun. But when you was on the street, you was just stealing cars. You wasn't doing nothing ingenious at all on the street. You was beating up your baby mama and selling dope. But you go to jail and all of a sudden you can make a cell phone out of stolen materials. How? How do you know how to cook so good? How do you make wine? You and your cellmate been collecting oranges for the last 3 months so you can squeeze them into garbage bags and then hide the wine in the toilet so it ferments. How did you figure all this shit out? Why didn't you start a wine company on the street?
Soon come.
Yeah, you didn't start a wine company on the street. You weren't a tattoo artist on the street, but you lock them in and you take away all the possibility of doing things truly productive, getting enough light and sun and real deal like community. Like you just locked in here with other guys that are waiting for a chance to take you to the vineyard. There's nothing good happening in here. But you come up with the craziest shit. And the outside world loves it. They make documentaries about it. These guys are on TikTok with phones that they hid in their fucking prison pocket. And I'll let everybody out there figure out what a prison pocket is. But they hid their phones in their prison pocket and they're on TikTok in jail.
You seen the one where they get the electricity from the light and they make like an electric stove?
You
Like,
see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Wild stuff.
If you had half that ingenuity on the street, you would have been a multi-millionaire entrepreneur.
Making $20-$30 an hour as an electrician.
At least. That's at the very least. And then, but instead, you're in here hyper shanking somebody because they're a part of the wrong gang. This shit don't make, but it makes perfect sense because if you just expand that consciousness out into the grander world, the whole planet, that you can't leave, can't go too high, can't go too deep, as we just saw from this whole Titanic fiasco. Especially if you build the shit out of wrong materials. Can't go too deep underground, under the water. So what do? What do? Tinker. Fuck with shit.
Yo, did you know that dude refused to have it tested?
Yeah. He also said, I purposely broke a lot of rules because those are the people who are remembered, the people who break the rules. He said, carbon fiber and something like, you're not supposed to do that. Well, guess what? I did. Like, yeah, well, hey, I mean, it sucks. It's terrible. It's tragic. But when the person who leads the mission says, yeah, I know you're not supposed to take carbon fiber down that far in the ocean, but fuck it, I did it anyway. It's really hard to maintain a level of grief and compassion about that situation. And the money part of it makes it difficult, too. Like, I did have a little bit of an issue, a very slight one, with people who were making a lot of jokes on the internet and like, oh, fuck them, they're millionaires, they die. And it's like, I understand that if you train your brain to celebrate suffering, that's all it's going to do. It's not going to say, okay, we celebrate the suffering of billionaires and people who hurt children. No, the brain is not paying attention to any of those caveats that you added at the end. It celebrates suffering. So when that fuck you, hooray for me shoe was on the other foot, when your grandmother fall down the stairs and you posting a GoFundMe and everybody's like, fuck that bitch, she should have been on roller skates. So you're going to be like, oh, how could you be so? No, you set the standard already. Just because your grandmother isn't a billionaire that went to see the Titanic on a submarine or in a fucking sardine can, whatever it was, that doesn't mean you get to request compassion from the audience now. You was laughing at people's death. So what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, the memes were
Oh, they was cold-blooded.
quick.
They was cold-blooded.
I see one with the it's going down and then the Xbox controller bleeps.
Yeah,
like
he was
connection.
wilding. He was wilding all the way out.
Like, what?
Son had the Xbox controller running everything. The shit looked like, it looked like it was
The
never
Xbox
meant.
controller thing, it wasn't a big deal to me because I know they use that shit for drones.
Yeah.
On motherfuckers. Like that's exactly what.
Are we sure it was an Xbox controller?
Oh, you know
It
what?
wasn't an
You're
Xbox
right.
controller.
It was a Logitech
Right. It was
controller.
a third party
Xbox controller is actually a better peripheral to use
You're right.
than a Logitech.
Logitech was definitely questionable.
It's the generic brand.
Yeah,
He didn't even.
That
You know
was-
what I
that's
mean?
the
He
art-
cut
that's
corners.
the aftermarket controller. Yeah.
Right. He cut corners at every turn.
Every
It's
opportunity.
Like, can we at least get the official one? The
Xbox
high
controller, $50
quality
bucks.
one? Nope. The Logitech controller is $9.99 on Amazon.
And
Not
look,
paying
there's
$70
extra
bucks.
Today we're gonna be
buttons.
searching for the.
You see, they put this shit in GTA 5, bro.
Oh yeah. Shout out to the media again, by the way. Who knew these people were dead? they stretched this shit out for a week.
Well, you know, you had to, yeah.
As soon as the oxygen goes off, oh, we knew they were dead.
No,
because
it
the
wasn't
Navy
even the
told
oxygen.
us.
It
The
wasn't even-
Navy told us.
The Navy heard a
The
pop
Navy told us.
underwater, and they was like, "Oh, that ain't good," and they
But
just let people.
We
run with
gave
the
y'all
story.
a countdown.
Yeah.
That maybe.
Now we definitely heard a pop.
Come on.
About an
man.
hour after they left shore, we heard a little pop.
It was definitely like an hour.
Yeah, done like immediately. But you know,
something's
nobody
going
suffered. It was probably instantaneous. So, but,
Definitely instant.
yeah, I get it. I get it. I get the whole
How do
eat the
people even
rich.
fit in there?
Barely.
There was
Have you-
five.
I do
Yeah.
not do water activities. You can't pay me to do water activities.
Well, that's because you're
You're not
black.
supposed to.
Yeah,
no,
you're black. You're not
no.
supposed to. Mech
It's
stats.
because you're sane.
No, it's
Listen.
mech stats.
It's not our realm.
Titanic? No, I'm good. I seen the pictures. Thank you.
It's man's arrogance. We were just supposed to be on Earth. It takes Jacobian technology to piss in the face of the curse at every step. We were meant to be on land. If you were on land like you were supposed to, you couldn't get to any of this shit. You in your natural condition, you're not meant to be in the water. You don't have gills. You can't breathe underwater. You can't fight a shark. If you and a shark get in a fight underwater, you got nothing. You got nothing. Good luck. Right? But you can't. We're not supposed to be in the ocean. We're not supposed to be in the sky. We're not supposed to be in space. It's not our realms. We don't belong there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and there's probably no. I mean, you can make a boat, right? You can make a boat, and you fish, and you catch a bunch of tasty shit, and maybe if you go a little bit deeper, you catch some of the real choice fish, because you can't just fish off the pier and catch the good shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to go out there and take some real risk, and then you get some really good fish. You know what I'm saying? But to say, all right, I'm gonna make a submarine. We're gonna go down hundreds of miles, like taller than the Burj Khalifa, turned upside down. It's like we're gonna go that far. You know what's worst case to me? I feel like something down there is just gonna whoop your ass and eat you. Forget accidents and technical failures. Like something's just gonna swallow you. That's what I feel like is the real threat. That's why I don't want to go. I'm not really worried about technological failures. I'm just like, I've seen whales with scars on them from squid. The squid's bigger than a whale. Imagine how big you got to be to try to eat a whale. And the squid's like, yeah, I want that motherfucker.
It's not for us.
I don't need to experience that. I see the YouTube videos, and that's good enough for me. That's way good enough for me. Yeah, people been doing. That's true.
Footage.
People been doing it fine for decades. But see, that's the thing. It's like if you go to a bridge, right? You're walking in the woods. You like hiking in the jungle or something. You see a bridge, and there's a sign by the bridge that says "Do not cross, dangerous." And then there's a native guy who's like, "Oh, don't worry, that sign's been there for like 50 years." Does that make the bridge less safe or more safe? Just because there's been a sign telling you you're gonna fuck yourself if you cross this bridge, but it's been there for 50 years. So yeah, they've been going down there for 10 years, but we knew that this is where it was going. Eventually, somebody's getting fucked, big time.
But are they even going? I don't even think they're going that deep. Because for my understanding is they were like, look, even if we get them, there's no way to save them. There's just the technology being what it is. We can't go that deep. Like my understanding is when they get footage and they explore that deep, it's with like drones and cameras.
Yeah.
It's like remote control.
Our bodies
stuff.
can't handle none of that shit, but we can make mechanical machines to do all that shit.
Yeah, it's just gonna squeeze you to death. How about that? Yeah. You're not gonna freeze.
Deeper you go, the higher the pressure.
You're not gonna drown. It's not like, oh, you gotta breathe. No, it's just gonna squeeze you to death. No, just crush you.
So that pop. So that's what it was. They were instantly crushed.
Instantly. Oh, matter of fact, I've seen some implosion.
Underwater.
Videos. Well, not underwater because, because most people do it above ground just to show you, but the pressure differential is the same. Now let me get this up on screen here. But yeah, I mean, and when you see it, all you can really do is be like, bro, at least it was over quick. So this is basically what would have happened to them.
Imploded. 2 miles below sea, it would have imploded in 30 milliseconds, 4.7 zillion times faster than this.
Yeah.
The crew was killed instantly when the Titan submersible imploded.
That's what's happening to people who go down in these fucking things.
Oh!
Yeah. And this is a train car. That shit's huge, bro. That's a huge train car. Just imagine. Well, not, you don't really want to imagine it, but yeah, you're done. Instantly done. Bop. Finished.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Bop. Over.
I want to survive a little bit longer. Thank you.
Worst case scenario is you was at one of the ends and you didn't quite go immediately and you actually tasted some seawater or some shit like that. That would suck a little bit worse. But most people who was in there, I think it was instantaneously off of here. Just back into the cycle of reincarnation. You're a baby crying 10 minutes later. Done. Oh, this guy, what's he doing? He's taking too long.
Do it. Just do it.
What happened?
You ready?
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, I would like to hear that sound. All right, here we go. We've got a hot can, really, really hot can. We're going to put it in really, really cold water.
Oh, they're doing it slow-mo because of how fast it actually does it. That's way too slow, though. Really?
She started way too early for that. That should have been on the draw.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
At that scale. So, yeah, you were pretty much instantly gone, and it sucks. But, like you said, Son cut a lot of corners, bro. He didn't act like... He acted like he was going 20 feet off the ground in a little gyroscope helicopter. You didn't act like you were going hundreds of feet underwater. Hundreds of thousands of feet underwater. With that type of pressure, that type of... Hey, listen. It is what it is. They paid a lot of money for it. And I'm pretty sure they knew the risk. They had to be watching the guy. If you pay that much money for something like that,
the minute I seen that submarine, I know the risk.
Oh, yeah, yeah. As soon as you saw it, you're like, sir, where are we supposed to go in this? This looked like it's not even supposed to go underwater. It looked like it's supposed to skate across the top of the water. That looks like a jet ski. That don't look like a submarine. But, they already scheduled new trips, so they haven't been deterred.
It looks like a marital aid. Nobody should have trusted it with their life. It's retarded. It's stupid.
Completely stupid.
This is all stupid.
But, yeah, this is part of the reason why the future is a food forest. All this human stupidity is going to go away either from the necessity of people fucking themselves over so bad that there's nothing else you can do, or people are going to just figure it out and be like, you know what, let's just actively try to make the world a better. Not likely, but I don't think people really care about making the world
be like in Chrono
place.
Trigger. They're gonna be up in the sky, looking down at the portables.
Yeah, dude.
They're just gonna be blind to everything. It's gonna be the Jetsons. It's just gonna be up in the sky.
They did it to themselves, and you can't be mad. Like I said, that's why I'm gonna be barefoot in my garden while the fires burn. I'm just gonna be like la 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 la. I'm not paying attention to it. I'm just gonna stay in the garden until there's no possible way to ignore it. When the flames reach my banana trees, then I might be upset. But other than that, what can I do? I'm not gonna pay. I don't have enough money to change anybody's mind. So the only thing I can do is focus on getting enough money to change people's minds, or that's about it. I don't understand. Well, we got this other thing, and I'm still kind of confused and nervous about it. But Single mom builds a bamboo firewood house, grow rice tent, and take care of baby. And is there anything you can give, since you discovered this, is there anything more you can give us about what exactly to expect from this video? What is really going on here?
You will see nothing that would get us banned off of YouTube.
Okay.
All of this, she plays with her baby. She plants some rice. She builds some things with bamboo. She's just out there working diligently.
It's strange. I don't know. Maybe has the internet ruined me? I feel so much anxiety watching this.
This lady's definitely not single.
Yeah, she's not doing that. There's definitely a pack of guys somewhere. I don't want to be like a dinosaur bigot, but I feel like there's a pack of guys around here somewhere doing the majority of the work. And
they're getting that YouTube money. How much are the views going?
65,000 views 9 days ago.
16.9K subscribers. They're getting that American YouTube money.
Yeah, they bought.
Well, it feels like they're trying, like, you could do it, girl. Like, single moms out there, like, you could totally build a bamboo.
They be for the Asians, but them black women ain't watching this shit.
Nah, they watching.
If you could do this, you could do anything.
They watching tarot card videos telling you to leave your husband.
It's the wrong demographic.
They like, why you should leave that nigga.
But it's just why is this the angle? I just don't understand. Like, couldn't it just be like, hey, we're building stuff? No. We're building stuff in the middle of nowhere in Cambodia, probably, but it's as a single mom. It's a single mom. Yeah. Obviously, dad, piece of shit, abandoned the family. She's had to live in this
gold triangle vibe. There's definitely a cocaine.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird. Something don't feel right. Something don't feel right about it at all.
Because I just don't understand. You're in the middle of nowhere, okay? You're in what looks to be completely bamboo. Like, the house is completely made out of bamboo. And you're living a very simple agrarian life, but you got a camera crew.
Right, a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
This is not just iPhone footage. This is like a nice tripod, and it's a good camera. You see the depth of field is nice back there. It's a really good camera. This is like a real operation.
Well, and that's why I have the Ike Turner theory here on this.
Oh shit!
Who's the cameraman?
Yeah.
The husband, yeah.
Yeah.
Bitch, you gonna do all the housework. You hear me, Seeley? You gonna raise this baby. You're gonna farm the land. I'm gonna upload YouTube videos. This dude ain't doing shit. He's just there with a camera.
Yeah.
He keeps her here on this hut, working, and he's monetizing it. Raise our kid, tend to the garden. You ain't got nothing to do. You're working all day. He keeps her busy, and then he goes out and gets side. He's getting a lot of money.
I also feel like these dogs ain't safe. I could be wrong.
Well, no, I mean, she's not just gardening. She has cattle also.
So
she's raising
cattle dogs.
Raising a
it
source
brings
of
a new meaning to the term cattle dog.
Not feeding them corn.
Right. At least they're not eating corn.
Yeah,
this is a racket. Yeah, he's running a racket. He's like, I know. It wouldn't even be interesting if the man did all this. It'd be like, well, yeah, of course. But a single mom doing it.
Single mom, right? Bitch, do you really get it? There's no way I believe that you're an abandoned single mom living in the middle of nowhere and just running your life like that.
No.
Stop it.
Because there would be vineyard bandits everywhere.
Everywhere.
Every day.
That operation would last about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
The first bandits were like, her husband left?
Yeah, you'd be paying a lot of Peter tolls.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of Peter tolls going to be coming by.
They'd be coming to lay the bamboo. For sure.
Not that that's funny, but yeah, I mean, in a place like this, it just doesn't seem likely that you just be out here chilling safe like that. I could be wrong.
I planted bamboo. I got this idea. I started looking up how to make bamboo furniture. I'm going to do...
Start in the background, make sure she don't run away.
Make sure you got clumping bamboo and not running bamboo.
What's the difference?
Oh, shit. So, okay. Clumping bamboo grows in these cool little clumps, and it doesn't spread too far from the center growth pattern. So this is what clumping bamboo... Oh, no, we don't want to do that. There you go. Clumping bamboo, it stays like this. You know, it just grows in these tight little clumps. You can harvest from the outside. You cut it close to the ground and shit like that, and it just continues to grow over time. Now, running bamboo. You see, here we go. Running bamboo will take over your entire property, and you'll never get rid of it. To the point where you may not even ever be able to sell that property if people know what's going on, because it'll never stop growing, and you'll never get rid of it.
Just grow like wildfire.
Yeah, you have to dig down 5-6 feet and remove every single piece of it to make sure it doesn't regrow from the rhizomes and stuff like that. But clumping bamboo stays pretty tight. So make sure it should be a what you call it. There should be a designation. If you're buying bamboo from somebody, there should be an option for running bamboo or clumping bamboo. And that's one of the permaculture tips for today. Because, yeah, you definitely don't want to get yourself screwed with planting running bamboo. That would be disastrous.
Well, I mean, can it really take over everything if there's already stuff growing there?
Bamboo don't give a shit, bro. They use bamboo for torture in some countries because it grows so fast and so vigorously. You can just lay a man on the ground in a bamboo field, and the bamboo will grow and push through his chest cavity over the course of a few days. It'll just pierce him right through and keep growing. Like, fuck it. Yeah, that shit's it's vigorous, bro. You'll never get rid of it. You'll never get rid of it.
Cane.
Yeah, so yeah, clumping bamboo is definitely what you want. The only reason to plant running bamboo is because you don't give a fuck about what's going to happen to this piece of land in the future. That's the only reason to plant running bamboo, bro. It's no joke. I saw a video a long time ago when we were looking up all of our permaculture stuff, and a guy had planted running bamboo by mistake. And in the video, he said, if I had known what I was doing, I'd rather shoot myself in the head. And we were just like, damn, bro, like, is it that bad? But you look at his yard, and it's like, bro, you cannot get rid of it. That's all I have now is bamboo. And it'll grow from, like, if you dug it up, if you went around, if you saw 15 pieces of running bamboo, and you went with a shovel, you dug it all up, every one of those little pieces that you leave behind in the ground, whatever root is underground left behind, it's all going to grow more bamboo. All of it. And I don't know any way to get rid of it other than poisoning the whole piece of land. It's just no joke, bro. So, yeah, running, can definitely clumping bamboo is what you want. And I got some, too. If you want to be absolutely positive about what you're getting, I do have 2 different types of clumping bamboo. It's just no joke.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Yeah, seriously, because some people will sell running bamboo in big pots because it hasn't broken out of the side of the pot or something like that yet, and it looks like a nice little clump, but once it gets in the ground, it's over. It's over. Some people plant it, like you see how, let me put this up on screen too for anybody who may be wondering. Some people put it, what they do is they show this little hedge like that of running, this is clumping bamboo, but they'll show a hedge like that of running bamboo, and what they've done is they've put a barrier underground. So they'll dig down and pour a concrete rectangle around the bamboo to try to stop it from spreading. Which is, like, to me, that's so much more work, because any type of bamboo, no matter what it looks like, the color, the thickness, no matter what it is that you like about a running bamboo, you can find a clumping bamboo that looks exactly like that and performs exactly like that.
Is that good mulch bamboo?
Yeah, definitely. It grows back pretty easy, so it's not something you just want to be putting anywhere. But if you mulch it down, I love bamboo flooring too. Like, it's definitely a super strong wood, very water resistant when they seal it and treat it right. It lasts a long time in structures. So I got 2 different types. I have one that's pretty thin that we use for trellising and stuff like that. The other one is fairly thick. It's not the grade of what they call structural bamboo that can support, like, this right here is what they call structural bamboo. It's just no joke. You could build a fucking house with that. As long as it's cured.
That's how all of China's built.
Yeah. As long as it's cured the right way and it's not, mold and something like that, they paint it with some type of resin and it lasts a really long time. It looks awesome and it's super strong. So I don't have anything like this yet, but I have some pretty thick bamboo that we use for the heavier trellises.
It worked great in kung fu movies too.
Oh yeah, always the scaffolding and shit from Master Killer. That's the bamboo you want right there. But and it grows pretty fast. So if you were to plant 2 plots of bamboo, you wouldn't have to wait long before you could consistently start harvesting it to use it around your yard.
I've seen those in Georgia, man. They look real nice. The real thick ones. There's like a walkway that they have.
They're awesome. They're beautiful.
It's dope.
Bro.
It looked like a whole samurai movie almost. Like just the way they stand up, and it's really dope.
No, it's beautiful. I love bamboo. There's some black bamboo I want to get, and it's just awesome. It's so useful, and you can eat it too. You can eat bamboo shoots. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's just a win-win all the way around. As long as you get clumping bamboo, you get running bamboo, you're gonna want to shoot yourself, according to the guy on YouTube.
Yeah, it's running bamboo. I just looked it up.
Did you already get it?
My order. No, I already canceled it.
Wait, so that was actually in the description?
Not in the description. I was just buying seeds off Amazon, and they were like, somebody asked him, is this clumping or running? And he's like, running.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you. You blew my cover. And also, bamboo from seed is difficult, too, because a lot of these different types of bamboo, because of how it grows, the seed is coated to sit in the soil for a really long time, so the bamboo doesn't, overcrowd itself. So you could plant a bamboo seed. It could take 5 years to germinate, but then it can grow 6 feet tall in a month. You know what I'm saying? Like out of nowhere. It grows like crazy. I've seen bamboo shoots come out of the ground. We look at it like, oh, nice, a new shoot. 4 days later, it's 5 feet tall. It's unbelievable how it grows. But a seed could stay in the ground for 4 years before it does anything. So, but they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. This is how it goes, though. This is the Amazon, this is the hustle. They're like, yo, if you don't know, I ain't gonna tell you. Let's see, how long do bamboo seeds take to germinate? This says around 30 days, and this is a specific type because some of them can take years. But, temperate bamboo typically would only produce seeds around every 75 years. So I've never seen any seeds I've had my bamboo for years. I've never seen any seeds. It does drop a lot of leaf litter though, which is awesome. So if you have a need for a lot of mulch and biomass, bamboo is great for that because it makes so much leaves, and in the wintertime it drops everything. So nothing else around the bamboo, nothing else is going to grow around it because it drops so much seeds, it kills everything that tries to pop up around it. So that's another good thing about bamboo is it really clears a lot of space around itself, so it won't be nothing there but the bamboo. It'll give it a lot of time to
I'm just trying to get rid of this fucking grass, man.
Yeah.
I can't fucking kill it. So I was looking at so I figured with the bamboo, right? I was like, I was kind of half joking with the furniture, but I would be interested, because I saw this dude build a chair. He probably took like a week or two. Even if it took me a year to do it, hey, it's a project to do. I built that chair. And now that I got the fire pit done, I figured too, since it grows so fast, I can be burning wood all the time, right? Because I have all this bamboo.
Yeah.
If I'm not using it to build anything, and then I was gonna use that ash as a lot of the biomass to feed a lot of the food in the back anyway.
Yeah.
Because I heard if you got ash, it's a lot of nutrients. Like if you, what was it? Like after some volcano, I forget which one, but after a volcano, I heard.
This led you to single moms.
Right. It got me to single mom, Ike Turner in Cambodia, and his internet hustle. But I was just trying to get rid. So I was like, okay, bamboo will be better than grass. So let me get some bamboo, and I found this creeping thyme.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so this shit, I can dig up the grass and replace it, and then this will grow and it'll just be a ground cover, but I'm not gonna have to mow it. It'll look nice, and it'll kind of stay at a certain level, and that'll be easier to deal with. Because I put everywhere where I put mulch in like this huge it's gone. The mulch is gone. The grass has reclaimed it.
Yeah.
Fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah, you got to put usually for mulch to last like that, you need to put it down super thick, and it helps if you put something under it. Like if you put down either leaf litter, because leaves, it takes leaves a long time to disintegrate. That's why we get leaves from our neighbor. So the boys go across the street, they rake the leaves, we bring them back and dump them in our yard. So leaves take a really long time to break down because it has so much minerals in it, and or cardboard. If you have a local store or something, sometime they'll give you boxes, or if you have a lot of cardboard, you break the cardboard down, you lay that down, and then you put the mulch over that, because it'll take the cardboard a while to break down, but it'll also attract worms, and it'll feed the microorganisms, because it's just carbon material that's going to go into the soil. So,
but isn't it just making it super attractive now for the grass to be like, fuck, that soil is delicious?
No, only at the edges. Only at the edges. So if you cover it...
Grass needs sunlight.
Right. If you cover it with cardboard and then mulch around it, any place that you didn't cover in mulch, that edge is going to have more moisture and more nutrients than underneath, right? And it's going to still get light, so you'll see the grass get huge right at the edge where you stopped your cardboard and mulching. That's where it takes advantage. So you either have to do all of it at once or do large quadrants. Right, you do big quadrants of cardboard and mulch, and then you just be prepared to take care of the grass at the edges, because that's going to pop off and grow really strong because of all the extra moisture. The breaking down of the cardboard and the mulch is going to feed it. So you'll see, like, all your grass will be low except right up to the edge of where you put the mulch at. So yeah, all of this is trial and error shit. Grass is super strong. It does not want to go away. I mean, it's part of the ecosystem. You could always get yourself a goat if you wanted to, Get a goat back there. The goat will eat all the grass up. I don't know if they let you have chickens there.
Yeah, they do. I already cleared it. And that was another thing, too, is I was going to make the chicken coops out of the bamboo.
Right. You make yourself a chicken tractor, so you can make it something you can move, or you invest in the electric fence. Right, so let me open another one here. I'm getting deep into the permaculture talk right now.
Some cockfights now.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so the chickens, you put chickens down with electric fence, right? So what people do is they build they buy a bunch of electric fence, and it comes with a trickle charger. This looks like she's doing a lot of talking and not a lot of showing of the chickens. It comes with the trickle charger that's like solar powered, right? So you build your area that you want to keep the chickens in, like that. You put a little, basic house for them in there that you can move easy, and they'll eat this area and scratch it down to bare soil in a matter of weeks, because that's all they do is eat and dig and poop. But because they scratch and poop so much, they're also tilling the soil, so it'll be perfect for you to grow something in that spot once you move them. But they will kill it. They'll absolutely kill all the vegetation in that spot. No problem. And and then you can just move the gate. You move the gate to another place, and you just move them over to another spot, and they'll start eating and scratching and pooping there. And it's a little bit of a longer process, but they will kill everything. Nothing will be alive in that space. There won't be no grass. There won't be nothing. It'll basically go down to bare dirt. And you throw some wood chips in there, you get them to mix the wood. You see, I just got a little rectangle here for them, and they'll eat it down to the ground in no time. But you don't want them running wild in your garden, because they'll jump in your beds and fuck everything up. Like, they are terrorists, bro. Chickens are terrorists. They don't give a shit. They go there, and they seem to know right where you don't want them. Wherever you don't want them, that's where they go. So you see how he got his little setup back here. You see he got a little A-frame chicken house. Shove a bunch of them in there. As long as they can go in at night and they're safe, they'll be fine. You put your electric fence around them, and it's super flexible. It comes with these spikes. You step them into the ground, and you hook the fence to it, so you can make it into a L shape, any shape to contour around your yard, however you want them. This electric fence will work, and you keep the chickens in there. They might try to jump it a few times, but when they get too close to it, they get a little zap, so they learn to stay away from it, and they just stay in there, scratch, eat, and poop, and prepare the ground for whatever you want to grow there. So as soon as you move them, you put a couple natives in the ground, you put a couple low-growing bush-type beans and stuff like that, a couple taller trees in there, and just let them take advantage of all the work the chickens just did. That, or like I said, the cardboard and the mulch, or even straw.
Magic meat.
Yeah, that's real magic meat right there. And another thing you can do with your bamboo and your wood waste that you get from the yard, especially bamboo since it's so fast growing, is biochar. And biochar is amazing because, charcoal is one of the things that sucks up nutrients. It sucks up all kinds of nutrients and minerals from the soil around it. So some people put biochar directly into their soil and they get bad results because what it's doing is taking nutrients from the plants and everything around it. So what you do is you take this, it's basically just charcoal. But the way you make charcoal is not by necessarily burning the wood. You set the wood on fire and then you smother it. So either with wet cardboard or you bury it with sand. You set everything on fire and then you bury it with sand, and that smoldering underneath, it cooks out all of the extra cellulose and stuff like that from the wood, and all you're left with is pure black carbon, and that'll soak up nutrients. So then you take that, you mix it with your waste from your chicken coop or your whatever natural fertilizers you can get. If you can get some horse manure or something, you crush this stuff up and you soak it. And when it looks like this, you crush it up, you soak it, you put all your nutrients in there, so then it's filled with nutrients anyway, and then you mix that into your soil. And it takes charcoal hundreds of years to fully break down in soil. So once you get it crushed up like this and you put it in your soil, as it breaks down, it's going to continually release the nutrients that you charged into it, and it feeds the plants around it rather than taking up more stuff from the soil.
Wow.
Yeah, good shit. Really good shit. So, but you got to charge it first. I know a lot of people just put the charcoal directly in their soil and it fucks them over and they can't figure out why. But like this person is putting their compost. So he's taking regular charcoal, right? And you take your compost, all your food waste that you've been growing and food waste that you've been saving and throwing away, and you crush up the charcoal and you mix it with all of that compost, and it's just going to soak up everything that's in that compost, and then you mix that into your soil around your trees and your plants, and they'll be able to feed off that fucking basically forever. So biochar is definitely that's the move.
Yeah, I'm addicted. I'm totally obsessed. Once I finished the patio with the fire pit, like I started making a path now with the bricks. I've fallen in love with concrete. I'm making like 5 more stone beds, raised stone beds to plant more shit in, and I kind of walled off the back section of the yard where I'm just gonna have the trees and the fruits, but that's where all the grass keeps growing. So what I did is I made this little like winding path around the trees, and it kind of made like it sectioned it off like it's almost like a natural border.
Yeah.
So I figured it'll be easier to deal with the grass if I do it this way, but maybe I don't need to lay all that brick around it to keep it from growing. I could just, like you said, put the cardboard down, and then put the mulch over it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. What up, Adam? Adam Young just stepped in. He said, "What's good, gents?"
What's up, bro?
We chilling, man. Just talking this permaculture talk, this food forest talk. This is what I think. This is the direction that the successful world is going to move into. There's going to be a lot going on with technology, a lot going on with the cities and people. A lot of turmoil and turbulence, but that's just the way things are. But I think the people who are going to be most successful are going to try to be more self-sufficient. And it's workable at every level, whether you're just growing tomatoes and potatoes in a 5-gallon bucket on your front porch, or if you're turning your backyard into a food forest. And I actually saw somebody on Twitter recently complaining about gardens, and I thought it was hilarious. I got a good laugh out of that. He's like, we don't need more gardens, we need more food forests. People are wasting their time in these gardens. I'm like, bro, is this really what you're mad about right now? Gardens?
Got to be mad about something. You're online.
Right. So gardens are a legitimate path to food forests. We didn't completely embrace the food forest model when we first started. We were trying to, dig some lanes and some really square, mathematically laid out places to grow the vegetables. And that works in some places, sometime. But overall, that's not how nature functions. And it's just more of humans trying to exercise dominance rather than husbandry, rather than being a part of the ecosystem. They're just trying to tell it what you want it to do and force it to do it. And that can work for a little while, but I think the more time you spend in the garden and realizing the cycles and getting the patience that you get from waiting and having your expectations met. Sometimes shit fails. You don't get the harvest you want. Like all of those things that you end up going through, I think will lead you to a way that's less labor intensive and has more longevity than the traditional garden. And that's the food forest model. That's how nature does by itself. All you're doing is, instead of letting a bunch of random shit grow, you're putting in the fruit trees that you want. You're paying attention to the hardiness zone. How many chill hours does it need? Like all of these little, pieces of the puzzle that get put together. You're going to have low growing, creeping ground covers. You're going to have bushy fruits and vegetables and stuff that grow mid-length. You're going to have some short trees like jaboticabas and stuff like that. And then you're going to have taller trees for canopy and shade, and everything works together, everything functions together, and the more time you put in up front, the less time you have to put in later, and the more return you get. If you build something that's self-sustaining and regenerates itself, it feeds itself, the leaves fall and the leaves feed the plants around it, you grow your own fertilizer like a Mexican sunflower. This thing is a dynamic accumulator. It picks up all kinds of nutrients and minerals from the soil, and then when you chop up the stalks and the leaves, you throw that on the ground or you compost it, you put it around, you feed it to your plants, and it grows right back, no problem. A couple months later, you got all of it back.
Is that the thick stalk and it grows pretty tall?
Yeah, really tall, green.
I think I grew one by accident. It grew up behind one of my beds. I don't know where it came from. And
I
it's
think
huge.
I gave you some once.
Did you?
I think I gave you some at the wedding dinner. I think a piece of what I gave you was Mexican sunflower.
Maybe because this just popped up like a month ago, and it just started growing. It had these big green leaves. We didn't know what it was. We were like, it looks cool, just leave it. And then we went out there one day and it had this big pretty yellow flower, and I'm like, so I can propagate that now, right?
Yeah, it should get taller. Bunch. It'll get taller. It grows pretty easy. Like if you just cut a piece off and stick it in the ground somewhere else, but you do want to put it in a back corner or something like that, or because it's like bamboo. It grows in a big clump, and it'll be like a big globe shape. So it can get crazy. But when you chop it down, you just chop it up really good with a machete or something like that, and you throw it down on the ground around your beds or in your beds or around your fruit trees, and it just releases everything that it pulled up from the soil back into the soil, and it feeds the trees and just keeps growing back. I usually chop it down mostly in the spring and summer, like this time of year, because I got so much stuff that's flowering. I don't really need those, and they're so abundant throughout the year, but they grow all year long. But in the wintertime, they're one of the only things that's flowering. So I let those stay. I let them grow and flower in the winter for the bees and the pollinators and shit. But in the spring, everything's flowering. So I cut those back and feed stuff with them.
So if I cut it down and the roots are in there, it'll grow back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If the roots are in there, it'll keep growing back. And how do I clone it? Where would I grab one of its arms?
Well, if you look towards the bottom where it's coming out of the ground as the stalks get older, you usually start to see them dropping some roots. You'll see like these reddish roots coming out and reaching for the ground. As long as you get some of that, what they call a corm, like if you chop it in the middle, it still has a chance of growing. But the lower you get to the main clump, that's where all the rooting cells are. So you chop that off, you stick it in the ground somewhere else, and then maybe chop off the top part and just leave like a little stick in the ground. Because if you leave the top young part, what happens is the plant is trying to keep it alive. So it's pushing all of its energy and nutrients and moisture that it's grabbing up to the top part of the young leaves to try to keep it alive. So if you just cut that off, it focuses more on the roots. So you push the energy downward. So you get it out of the ground, you chop the top off of it, leave it like a foot high or whatever, and then it'll just start pushing up more plants. And before you know it, it's huge, flowers everywhere, it's beautiful, the bees love it, butterflies love it, and it's literally fertilizer that you can continue to grow for the foreseeable future. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Mexican sunflower, dynamic accumulator is what they call it, because it pulls up way more nutrients than it actually needs and it just stores it in the leaves and the stems. And that's one of the reasons it takes so long to break down. When you cut it, you lay it on the ground, it'll take weeks before it fully turns brown and stops like actively trying to grow because of all the minerals and shit that's in the stalks. And you take it, once it's dead, you chop it up, like I said, put it in the ground, cover it with a little bit of mulch to keep it moist and like feed it to the worms and shit. And yeah, it's fertilizer, feeds your trees. You can also soak it in water and make like anaerobic bacteria that you can just pour over the plants because the nutrients come out in the liquid. You can just pour the liquid over the plants, and you maybe dilute it. Like you get a bucket full of it, you soak the plants in there, and then you take a few small containers of that, put it in another 5-gallon bucket, and then fill it up the rest of the way with water, and then you water your beds with that, and you just feeding everything with free fertilizer.
Yeah, the dog-faced pony soldier, he got me something called compost tea.
Yeah.
To pour over it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
Yep. And so, but you're saying I'll actually be able to make my own with the sunflower.
Yeah, yeah, and any other food waste, anything that you have, banana peels and shit like that, you just throw it in there. And
forgive my retardedness. So I can't like cut off one of the, because I've been looking how to clone some of the stuff, and it looks like you got to cut it differently on different kinds of plants. But you're saying I got to actually get some of the roots of the sunflower for me to plant something somewhere else.
That's the best chance you're going to have. Let me see if I can find a picture.
Yeah.
The best chance you're going to have is if you get some of that corn in there. Oh, not that one. But, yeah.
Because it looks so pretty. I would feel terrible if I cut it down and then it didn't grow back. Because I don't even know how I got this one to grow. Because we had some sunflower seeds that I put in the ground and nothing happened. The area where I planted them, it didn't do nothing.
Finicky.
And I made sure it germinated too. Like I made sure it was sprouting before I put it in the ground.
You definitely got to send me a picture so I can figure it out. But this is what Mexican sunflower cuttings look like. They get woody like this. They're not always green. These are younger cuttings, and they'll still grow. But the best chance you have is very close to the bottom. You'll see, like I said, some reddish roots starting to drop down out of the plant when it's super mature. And that's when, if you get some of that in there from the very bottom, that's the best chance you have at propagating it and getting more of it growing.
Okay, so you're saying I don't uproot it, I just cut the stalk really low to the ground.
Right.
And the bottom of that stalk will start getting some roots.
Yeah.
Do I need to like put it in a jar of water or something and wait till the roots come out?
Nope, just stick it in the ground. I got so much of this shit, bro, because just chopping it up and not fully killing it before I throw it on the ground, and it just grows from there. Just laying on the ground, not even actually burying any of it. Just from laying it on the ground and it grows. It's super strong. Because I think when I brought it to you, oh, here we go. When I brought it to you, it looked like a clump that came out of the ground, and it probably looked a little messy, but it's because I know how tough this shit is. It just doesn't die. It doesn't die. So let me see. And this is what you're talking about, right? This is what it looks like?
No. It's like I'll have to take a picture. It has really big leaves. The leaves they're not in 3 parts like that. It's just that looks like a fig leaf. Nah, it's more like a spade shape.
But this is what I was talking about. Yeah. Towards the bottom of it, you'll see this.
Where it has those?
Yeah, it has little stuff like this coming out, and that's like it's trying to root to the ground and kind of walk. It's trying to walk away from the mother corm and just create more. And so if you get some of that on there, that's your best chance at making more. But if not, like I said, I'll grab a couple cuttings and I'll send you some, bro. This shit is tough. I got it everywhere, all over the yard, front yard, backyard. It's everywhere.
But it's
everywhere.
like 4 foot. It's like 4 foot tall. Maybe that is the flower that it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's about 15 feet tall right now. This shit gets huge.
Wow.
It gets huge. I'm gonna see if I can find a couple more pictures. But yeah, Tithonia diversifolia, because there's a few of them. The red one is not as resilient. It is really nice, but it's a lot softer. It's a lot harder to propagate, and but it will come back every year if it drops the seeds. But this is the Mexican sunflower I have. It's like that, bro. It grows fucking 15 feet tall. It's amazing.
Yeah, mine only has one flower on it, but yeah, it grew pretty, and it grew quick.
Yeah,
We
bro.
just saw it bud in one day. We left it alone, and then like a couple weeks later, it's like 4 feet tall, and then finally we came out one day, and it had a flower. I'm like, oh, it's a sunflower. We didn't know what the fuck it was.
Yeah, yeah, it gets busy, man. This stuff is no joke. It is super. It's diverse. It has a lot of different uses. Like I said, I keep it around in the winter for the pollinators because not a lot of other stuff is popping. But in the spring, I'm merciless on it. I cut it back. I feed it to the other plants, and they get big, bro. This is them. This is some on the side of the road. I see them like this in Florida all the time too. So they'll be on the side of the road, just growing wild. You see how tall those are?
Yeah.
Yeah, they get big, bro. They get big. So you should be, if that's it, you should be able to take some cuttings soon and just plant them in other parts of the yard and let them go. Like I said, long as you're diligent about making sure they're fully dead, like I would cut them and lay them down somewhere before I try to put them under the fruit trees and forget about them. I'd lay them down somewhere on concrete. Just let them get full sun for a few days, and that'll kill them. And then you can chop them up a little bit more and feed them to the plants. Because if not, you'll have them coming up everywhere. But the good thing is they're not super deep rooters. So usually, if they start popping up in places you don't want them, you can just pull them right out of the ground. It doesn't have a really deep root system.
You saved me a lot of grief with the running bamboo. Good looking out.
Whew. Yeah, that would have been bad.
Because I was excited. I'm like, I can't wait to get this shit planted. I can't wait.
Yeah, that bamboo was going to put you in a world of hurt, bro.
I would have had to shoot myself in the head.
Apparently, according to YouTube, that's the only way to fix it. If you plant running bamboo, you just take yourself out. Yeah, man, it's crazy. But yeah, I think this is the way. I think this is the way to do it. I think there's so much benefits that come from gardening. It's not just the food and the flowers, but the life that comes to your property, the butterflies. And I know I sound super soft, and it just sounds like some woke gay agenda shit, because I'm like, oh, the butterflies and the hummingbirds are so nice. Like, you're not even a man, bro. I get it. I totally understand, but it's just brought me a lot of peace. I get up in the morning, I go for a while, I hear the birds. The birds just live here now. They don't even just visit anymore. There's 50, 60, 70 birds outside every morning. They're all over the place. And peep this. So we got mockingbirds recently. Mockingbirds have been showing up. Now, I didn't know that the mockingbird is like the official bird of Florida.
Is it?
Yeah, let me make sure I'm telling the truth here. Mockingbird, the state bird, the common mockingbird, Mimus polyglottus, which is like mimic and multi-throated, is a superb songbird, and it's the state bird of Florida. Right? So, let me put this on screen too, just to drive it all the way home. Now, this guy is pretty unsuspecting, not super colorful or anything like that, but this mockingbird, bro, is a G, an absolute G. First of all, it can mimic hundreds of different sounds, right? From car alarms to construction noises. It's unbelievable. It's got to be a genius on the scale of how we judge animals, right? If you can hear a car alarm and mimic it as a bird, you got to be a genius. There's no other way around it. You got to be. Okay, there we go. So, they're also one of the most territorial birds known to man. These birds attack any other birds that come anywhere near their nest or the place where they're hunting for food. They are complete bullies. Bullies. You know what they've been doing? They chase the hawks away from my property.
It's a tax stone.
Tax stone as a bird. Bro. So when we have baby chickens every now and then, and the hawks will come in and pick them off one by one. They'll take one today, they'll take another one 2 days later. And the dog, it's too quick. When they're small, they just swoop in, kill them, and they're gone. Before they can, I put them in with the other chickens. Once they're in with the other chickens and the rooster's around, the hawks don't really fuck with the rooster. The rooster will kill a hawk, no problem. But now, since we got the mockingbirds, I see the hawks perch up on the power lines or in a tree or something like that, and then you just see two mockingbirds come sit next to him and start inching closer and closer and closer, and then they start dive bombing him and they chase him out. So I've literally just about solved my hawk problem by letting my atmosphere become a better place for birds. Because what I learned about how birds get comfortable on your property is that you can't have too many wide spaces open, because they're always watching out for predators above and below. So if you got 1 or 2 fruit trees, the birds might come and chill for a second, but they always leave so where they feel more comfortable. But when you got multiple fruit trees and bushes and native plants that get large, elephant ears, fucking just all kinds of stuff, the birds can land on one tree and then they shoot over to the sunflowers and then they shoot over to this bush over here, and they just take little short flights all around the yard, and then they go to the feeders and they go back into the bush and they feel comfortable because they got so much cover. That's when they stay around and they start eating your pests. They start doing a bunch of work for you because they feel comfortable. So this has been going on for years. We've been feeding them and growing more trees. The mockingbird just showed up in the last year and some change. They don't take no shit from hawks, bro. They're like a third of the size of a hawk. And they don't take no shit. They're like, I see you, punk. What you doing here? And the hawk is just trying to mind his business, because he's looking for real food. He's looking for mice, snakes, baby chickens. Like, he wants a real meal. It's probably not even worth it for him to kill a mockingbird and eat it. He's like, bro, leave me alone. And they just pester him until he flies off. So my hawk problem is minimal right now because of the mockingbird, bro. I love him.
Nice.
Absolutely love him. I'm happy he's here. I've been growing, there's this plant called pokeweed that grows here, and the birds always drop it in their poop because they eat it from other places where it's wild, and then I find it growing in my yard all the time. I used to just snatch it up because it's poisonous to humans, but then I'm like, well, my boy, everybody here is old enough. I can tell my boys, yo, don't eat the pokeweed, and they're not going to eat the berries. They know it's poisonous. They're smart enough to avoid it, so why not just let it grow? So I let it grow, and it gets huge, and it makes these black berries, and it's in the nightshade family. So it makes these big black berries.
I got one of those. I just chopped it down and burned it today.
See, this is pokeweed.
Yeah.
So the pokeweed attracts a whole lot of birds. It's poisonous to humans, but birds love this shit. And this is better than buying bird seed or the shit that they get.
Yeah.
Some of that shit's good in the stores, but it doesn't have enough diversity in it, and it's not fresh food. So it's kind of like processed food, which ain't good for us. It ain't good for them. So when pokeweed grows now, I just let it grow. And the birds are everywhere, singing all morning. They're eating all the pests off my trees, and they kicking the hawks' asses, which I fucking love. I'm super happy about that. But
yeah, dude, I had something. I'm almost certain it was nightshade. And it was making these little black berries, and my wife has a app on her phone because she forgets what she plants sometimes. So she's like this little apple that'll tell based on the leaves or whatever what it is. So it's like, oh, it's nightshade, it's poisonous, and I was just leaving it just to let it grow, but it was bringing like these like red looking bugs or ants and some other like terrifying looking bugs. So I was like, man, and this shit is poisonous. I can't eat it. So I got rid of it. But it's not gay, dude. I noticed the same thing because there's butterflies all over my backyard now all the time now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
And with everything that's going on, like with the world falling apart, like I think I'm getting a little bit religious again. Like I'm just in tune with nature. I'm in the backyard. I'm working on this shit. You start to see the way that things, it's those things. I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's called a leaf-footed bug. So the leaf-footed bugs grow into these bigger grayish ones once they're older. They turn into those. But you know what? The thing is, they love native natural foods. But if you don't have native natural foods, this is what's going to be fucking your tomatoes. So you grow these things, they call them catch plants. You grow catch plants, which are like milk thistles and a bunch of other things that they prefer. So it's like leaving out some candy to keep them away from your vegetables. Because
milk is that the stuff that almost looks like dandelions? It's sort of white.
Yep, milk thistle. Yep.
Shit, I just cut one of those down too.
Yeah, I used to cut them down too, but they're super thorny. They have the dandelion type seeds that blow in the wind.
Yeah.
I let them grow because the bugs that that inhabit those, and I mean they take them over. It'll be thousands up the stalk, but all of those bugs would be on my cabbage if I didn't have the milk thistle growing.
Right.
So I grow the milk thistle, let them eat that to death, but they never kill it because the milk thistle can take it. It's built to take it, but they will kill my fucking cabbage and my kales and shit like that. So now I grow a bunch of catch plants. You know, the native flowers are catch plants. They bring them in, and peep this. When these guys lay eggs, their eggs and baby, like the little tiny nymphs, are the favorite food of ladybugs. So you bring in the ladybugs eat 5,000 babies in a day. And you want those because the ladybugs don't mess with your vegetables. Ladybugs are murderers, bro. They're mass murderers. They want to eat the children of these leaf-footed bugs. You know what I mean? So you let the leaf-footed bugs come in on your catch plants, and then the eggs and everything attract the ladybugs, and now you got a bunch of ladybugs doing your pest control for you. And they never, not never, but only a small few of them will actually make it to your plants that you don't want to be touched. When you got catch plants, you got natural predators. Yeah, it's just nature's. It seems like it's got it figured out. I don't know what that's about. It's like it almost like it knows what to do, but we be fucking up. We're like, oh, you see the stuff.
Fuck.
All the stuff.
I'm fucking up, dude. This is why I need you. I need you available in a consultant capacity.
I'm here.
I was
bro.
about to plant terroristic bamboo. I was disgusted that I had these bugs crawling all over this plant, but that's exactly what the plant was supposed to do.
Right.
Was attract those bugs.
Right.
Yeah, I'm fucking up. And I cut down one of the thistles, but there's still like 4 or 5 I saw like in the back corner that I left. And maybe I could dig those up and move those around and put them in a section where I want to keep the bugs away. Yeah.
Let them flower, and those dandelion seeds, get a handful of them.
Spread all over.
They'll blow them, you know, put them around your beds or something, or blow them around the yard. They'll keep growing. Once you got them, you got them. Yeah. But the point is, it's not you. It's just that these are the plants whose pictures they put on the front of the Roundup bottle. Right. They make you think these are the ones you're supposed to kill if you want pristine green grass. But that pristine green grass doesn't support any life, right? And if you ever do decide to plant any vegetables, they're going to get immediately attacked and killed, which means now I need to buy fertilizer and bug spray. So you go back to fucking Home Depot, no hate towards Home Depot, but you go back to the store to buy more shit to protect, when all you got to do is back off, let nature see what it's doing in your yard, what's growing in certain parts of the yard, what weeds are taking over there. The weeds that grow in your yard will tell you what your soil is missing, because those weeds are high in specific types of nutrients. If you break it open and it's dripping white liquid, that means it's full of fucking boron. Your soil is lacking in boron, so a weed full of boron grew there. So it could grow through its whole life cycle and die and compost itself in the soil and deposit the boron that your soil needs. This shit figures itself out. But we have to exercise so much force. That's what we were told we were supposed to do. You got to get up early in the morning and cut a hole in the ground, till the soil, and split it open and fuck it. Like that's what that's basically what they tell you to do. But that's not the path. That's not the way. So, but we got it. I'm telling you, I got this shit. Anytime, hit me up. Let me know what's going on. Send me some pictures. I'll put you on the game, bro. The future is a food forest, 100%. In my opinion, if we want to be successful, this is where we're going. This is where we're going. More self-sufficiency, more learning about what nature wants rather than what we want from nature. It knows how to do it. It knows how to produce tomatoes for us. You don't have to scour the earth. You don't have to do a mega kill to grow some nice tomatoes. You might just not be able to grow the big red beefsteak tomatoes that they show you in the store. You might have to grow some heirlooms or some Roma tomatoes that you can just pop, rather than, no, I want a 5-pound award-winning tomato. Well, that's a different hustle. That's a different game to play. But if you want 400 cherry tomatoes, I can show you how to make that happen. You know what I mean?
Heirloom tomatoes taste better anyway.
Yeah, they do. They just
Once
not
I had
pretty.
an heirloom tomato, I'm like, I'm done. It's almost got like a little sweetness to it.
Yeah, man.
I can't fuck with man. And we had some cucumbers and some I don't even know what kind of beans they were. We ate them. They were white. I don't know what kind of beans they were, but they were good. And the cucumbers we ate, like the sweet potatoes, it's just nothing like eating food that you made with your own menstrual blood and human shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what you got to put out there. That's the brew. That's the brew. You got to use it.
I have my girl leaking a bucket every month, and I
Yeah.
just been throwing in banana peels in it and just, you know what I mean, stirring the pot.
As you should. As you should. My lady just sent me a picture from the front yard of our baby chickens up there. They supposed to be in the backyard. They up front. They see. That's why you can't. I let them out. Like, I feel bad for you guys. You're in your little cage. I let them out. They go in the front yard and start fucking up shit. See? I got to put them in the cage with the big chickens now. Let them get bullied around a little bit. But they're just about the right size to go into the coop. I've just been trying to let them stretch their legs for a couple weeks before, because once they go in the coop, shit gonna get real. The rooster's gonna start taking some butt, like Fleece Johnson. You know what I mean? But that's the life of a chicken. Their politics are different than ours. You can't see a woman on the street and just jump on her back. It don't work like that. But for chickens, the rooster, hey, it is what it is, mama. You gotta lay these eggs. I ain't mad. It is what it is. But for real, man, anytime you need to hit me up, just give me a holler, send me pictures and shit, and I'll put you on the game. And that goes for everybody who's listening right now. We appreciate you guys tuning in and sticking around to hear us rant and rave about the future of permaculture. We definitely appreciate you. But if y'all got questions, definitely shoot us some messages in the comments. If you're thinking about starting your own permaculture project, definitely drop us some messages. We'll either address them short form in the comments, and if we got enough activity, then next week or whenever it is, I'll put some more information together for anybody who wants to learn about this shit. As you can probably tell, I have a whole lot of it stacked away in my head, and I can rant about this shit for hours on end. You got to tap me on the shoulder to stop me. This permaculture shit is real. And we also working on a book to teach people. It's mostly for this area, which is Zone 9B, Central Florida. Most of what I know has been directly from my trial and error, my personal experience here. But if you look up your own hardiness zone, if you just search hardiness zone, it'll tell you where you are and what climate it is, what plants you need to plant, what type of chill hours, which is how long it needs to be cold in the winter for it to properly produce fruit. It'll teach you everything you need to know, and then you just paste that information into what I'm talking about for the Zone 9B Central Florida area. And you'll be good. Just put in your own state and hardiness zone, and it'll tell you what changes you need to make. But other than that, this is the way, man. This is the way. The food forest is the future, and I absolutely appreciate y'all for listening. And before I go, I'm just gonna flash this. Where is it? I'm gonna flash this on the screen here. Again, thank you to everybody who's been visiting the store. I see the analytics definitely pop up after Sunday's show all the time. People are clicking around and checking our stuff out. Greatly appreciated. So swtko.art, that's pronounced sweetco.art, and enter the code gratitude, and you get free shipping on any orders over $50. And I hope that's helpful. If you see something you like, go ahead and grab it, man. We got hats, we got t-shirts, we got one-of-one art. We just put some new jewelry up. We call it regalia because we're fancy and artsy like that, but we got a bunch of new stuff in the shop, art prints and everything. So definitely click around, take a look around. Let me know what you like. Let me know if you have any requests. If you see a shirt and it's not in the color that you want, maybe I can get that color available for you. Just, this is an open exchange. So I appreciate all the transactions between the people and, of course, with the revenue, the gifts, and the donations, like Dr. Umar said. Keep it coming, man. We here. And the whole vision is to build a permaculture food forest that is larger and can accommodate more people and intentional communities, so we can really start acting out this vision that we have and just showing the world, well, first of all, living it out for our own selfish reasons, because I think it's one of the best ways that we could exist on this planet is with each other, holding each other accountable, farming our own creativity, and living in a place that supports life and regenerative agriculture and all of that. And also, we're going to turn the camera on and show everybody the model so that you can take the pieces that you think work for you and you can put it into practice on your food forest or your intentional community. But I definitely want to be able to accommodate more people, and that's the vision. That's the big dream. So keep watching, keep listening.
And what other cult is not demanding allegiance? You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of this venture, right? Because that's always what makes cults evil and fucked up. is, look, we've got the only recipe. Give us all your money. Do things our way. We want to rule over you. It's like, no, we'll give you the model. If you have different principles, different values, go ahead, live them out on your compound. We're good. We can maybe, sell you some running bamboo or whatever. We can make exchanges, but we don't have to agree on everything. But just the principle of, yeah, man, there should be intentional communities. People live in a way that's dysfunctional and emotionally disjointed and distanced from one another, and this just as an alternative, as a model for living. And don't want to force it on anybody. Like if you love Babylonian fuckery, I don't want to take that away from you. You can have all of it that you want. I don't want to take a morsel off of your plate. Enjoy it. You can eat the whole plate yourself. I'm good. But if you sense that this shit is kind of empty and fucked up, and I really feel dirty the more that I'm involved in it, hopefully we can help inspire you to see maybe there's an alternative.
There definitely is, 100%. And I know it sounds weird to a lot of people because of the fact that the word cult has such a weird connotation in our culture because of what they've been, not culture. The word culture is fine. Cultivate is fine.
Cultivated meat,
that's all fine for some reason. But, when you add the word cult, everybody gets shaky. Everybody gets weird about it. Are you guys going to be banging each other's wives? Like, no, man, that's not what we're talking about. That's completely different. That's not what we're talking about at all. We're just talking about intentional community, regenerative agriculture, and a life funded by the farming of your own creativity. And I think we have the ability to do it. We are absolutely the greatest think tank ever assembled. So I'm pretty sure we can do it. But at this stage, at this venture, the way the system is set up, we need a little bit of a push, a little help from the outside community, from people that believe in us, or from the people that want to prove us wrong. If you think we're going to devolve into psychopaths, then you should donate double just to prove us wrong and show how we went back on our word and we didn't actually do anything powerful and anything meaningful for each other. All we did was become the same scumbags as Jim Jones and everybody else. Prove me wrong, prove me right, however you want to do it. Hit the cash.
Which is content.
Yeah, it's content. It's all the content.
Good content. If we just start banging each other's wives and ruling over each other with an iron fist, then at the very least, what a show.
You could say you saw it coming.
Right.
You could say you helped fund it.
Told you so.
Yep, told you so. Yep, give us them told you so donations. Let's see what happens. But either way, this is what it is. These are some of the pictures, some of the images I've been generating in Midjourney, just to get the vision board popping, to get the mind's eye focused on what this could look like. And yeah, dome houses, geodesic vibes, permaculture, food forests, intentional community, and just people holding each other accountable and living off their own creativity, man. That's what I see. So this is what we're doing. This is what we're building. Every step we make right now is towards that reality. So, this is what we're here for, man. The Culture Dangerous Gentlemen. I appreciate you all for tuning in for another Vanglorious Sunday episode, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their evening. I know I will. I'm going to find something. I've been watching SWAT. How about that? It's a TV show on Netflix, and these guys, crimmies, they just solve problems. They got the truck, they got the guns. This is 20 David, the bad guy's down. And I'm like, I could do that. I don't have to pay too much attention. I don't have to use too much mental clarity to let it watch and wash over me in the background. So that's my guilty pleasure right now, is watching at least one episode of SWAT every night. After I'm done with my work, of course. I reward myself with an episode of SWAT. It's brain candy. You know what I'm saying?
No judgment. There's no judgment here.
I could be beating off the transsexual Street Fighter characters. It could. I mean, that's different. Not necessarily worse.
And now I feel like there's judgment on me.
I mean, anybody. Nobody knew.
Anybody.
Could be
That's
anybody.
True. Anybody. Could be anybody.
Could be anybody doing it, and I ain't mad at them. If you like it, you like it. But yeah, man. Everybody enjoy the rest of the evening, and I'm sure we'll be getting together soon. I'll talk to you brothers soon.
Peace, gentlemen.
Blessings.
Metaphysics is going to have to be the quote-unquote religion of tomorrow. If it isn't, you're fucked. Totally and absolutely.